So today, Rod Humble, along with Paradox, released a huge video showing off a little teaser for a new life simulation called Life by You. So for those who don't know, Rod Humble used to be an executive producer on The Sims 2 and The Sims 3 from 2002, I believe, until 2010. So he had about 8 years on the life sim between The Sims 2 and The Sims 3. And so this is his new project, his new baby. They're going to do a huge reveal of this new life simulation, which graphically looks interesting, kind of low poly. I don't know what's going on there. It could just be the teaser, but they're going to be doing a live reveal on March 20th, which is next, not this Monday, but the Monday after that on YouTube. Hopefully, we'll get a release date because they didn't say when the game itself is coming out, but I am very curious. So, this is the Sims wiki page for Rod Humble. Like I said, he was one of the executive producers for the Sims franchise going back from 2004 to 2010 when he ended up leaving to go off and work for Second Life after working with EA. He actually had a character in the game. So in The Sims 2 Free Time, which was their expansion packs that focused on hobbies and activities that Sims could do in and around their homes and also on some community lots, his character would gift you a free desktop computer that your Sims could use to do research on different hobbies. So it's actually a really cool nod to him in the game. And I was surprised when he ended up leaving, like I said, in 2010. So now that he's coming out with his own live sim, I'm curious how focused it's going to be on the world versus the characters, and if it's going to be anything like The Sims or a completely new idea and outside the box. So I'm really looking forward to this, and I'll be doing a little bit more posting about this game starting on March 20th. But I also want to focus on some other live sims that are going to be coming out in the next couple of years, in addition to Life by You, which we don't have an estimated release date for. So another live sim that's kind of up and coming on the works is Paralives. So this is a live sim being made by an indie team led by Alex Macy, or Massey, sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name. And they actually cropped up back in 2019. I saw them for the first time in 2020. They have a Patreon page that you can actually follow to kind of track their development. And if you are a subscriber on their Patreon, you can see sneak peeks and developmental updates. And then every once in a while, they'll do updates on their YouTube channel or on their Twitter channel for the public who's not subscribed to their Patreon. But basically, Paralives looks like their own characters. They can be height adjusted, weight adjusted, and supposed to have like basically unlimited customization for adult and children aged Paralives. So far, we've only seen adults. I haven't actually seen a child or an elder Paralives, but they do have that aspect in the works. I think it's very interesting. I like the realism. I'm not currently subscribed as a Patreon to their channel. My only thing is it's been in development for going on 4 years now. 4 years roughly, and I know they are a small team. I think they have about 10 programmers, and they just got up to 10 programmers, I want to say, in the last year or so. And I know that they're pretty much working independently. They're not sponsored by a big company or a big developer. So I know it's taking a lot more time. But the game does seem very ambitious, and it seems to meet some of the issues that people have had with The Sims in the past. So if you've ever played any of the Sims franchises, people have been clamoring for color wheels again. People have been clamoring for more customization over bodies, for heights, weights, um, tattoos, just everything. It does look very interesting. I just wanted to know when they're going to release it. We still don't have a release date for Paralives, to my knowledge, and they're still showing off little increments. But so far, we haven't actually seen gameplay. For the aspect of the game that I've seen, there's been a lot of just like character development and a lot of the world, like being able to build houses with curved walls and things like that. So when I popped onto Paralives' website, they kind of have listed out the development over the last 4 years in a very chronological order. So just based on their state of development, it looks like they're working on live mode and they're working on mod tools. So I guess the game is about halfway done just based on the 4 markers that they had at the top of their website. But if you scroll a little bit further down on their page, they actually have the developmental history going all the way back to 2019. So it looked like they started at the beginning of the year, and so roughly they were just making a lot of images. So they're trying to make mock-ups of what they wanted to design in the game. So they kind of start off with building their social media platform, their Patreon, their Discord, their website, and then starting to do the build and buy aspect of the game. So we see that they were making things like bunk beds, curved walls, porches, windows, and a lot of still images were coming out during that time. I actually wasn't following Paralives in 2019, so for me, I didn't end up seeing this until later. I didn't really hop into Paralives until after COVID started. So for those who don't know, COVID-19 started in March 19 of 2020. And so that's when I kind of came on the scene because I was on the internet looking for games to play and things to do to keep myself entertained during that time frame. So 2020 is when they start releasing more information about color wheels. Showed us our first para named Maggie. So para is what they're going to call their characters instead of calling them Sims, which makes sense. They showed us the day and night cycles. They showed us characters in a stationary position throughout the home, and they were showing us how you can like name things. Some animations like taking off shoes, coming through a door, standing still, laughing, smiling, putting freckles on. It was very slight though. It wasn't actual gameplay. Like we don't see the pairs interacting with each other necessarily. 2021, we fast forward, they're still doing, more customization to objects, to the paras, to build mode. We're still not really seeing gameplay at this point. It's just more kind of behind the scenes command and prompts, which is fine. I think that at this point they hadn't really released a full trailer. It was just little snippets of like a couch being built and a house being made in the middle of the woods. And they started introducing brainstorming where they were asking people on their Reddit pages and on their Discord channel kind of what they wanted to see for different topics. For example, like town activities, aging, babies and toddlers, and people were kind of giving their input. They never really committed to saying if they were or were not going to implement a feature that was suggested. It sounded like they were just kind of fact finding what people would be interested in. I know that Paralives had a big following because of The Sims. A lot of people have gripes with The Sims. Over the years, the quality of Sims packs has gone down. The transparency from the Sims team, EA and Maxis, has gone down. We aren't really sure what's going on. We got one refresh in The Sims, never got another one. Sometimes our game packs have a lot of stuff, sometimes they don't. Sometimes expansions have a lot, sometimes they don't. So it's kind of arbitrary what we get from the Sims team. So we're hoping that Paralives, who seems to be a lot more transparent, at least in the development stage, can keep that same energy kind of going forward. Not really sure what's going to come of it though. Still, like I said, no release date, no actual gameplay. We're just seeing a lot of like para creation and then build and buy mode. But even that's not being shown cohesively with all the UI. It wasn't until about the end of last year that they start showing us like the para actually interacting with the world, showing us queuing up activities, and kind of giving us more than just here's a para existing in a still frame world. So in this year, where we're coming to so far, we've actually gotten a trailer for Paralives. We see a house fully decorated with inside and outside furniture, patio, stuff for all ages. And so it looks like they're still incrementally working on it. So like I said, if you want to join their Patreon, you definitely can. They do have a link on their website that will shoot you right over there. Their cheapest membership level is $3. Their most expensive is $10. It gives you different accesses and perks, including benefits to their Discord. They have a certain section on Discord just for people who subscribe to the Patreon. So I'm not going to leave out The Sims because The Sims 5 slash Project Rene did get announced last October. So in October of 2022, The Sims did a summit called Behind the Sims, where they talked about all the things coming to the Sims franchise across the Sims series. So that includes The Sims Mobile, The Sims Free Play, The Sims 4, which is when we got our teaser for the Infants update, and got our teaser for the expansion pack, which we now know is going to be The Sims 4 Growing Together. The Sims 4 Growing Together expansion pack is coming out March 16th, but they also teased Project Rene. So Project Rene is what they're now calling the next generation of The Sims. We're still calling it The Sims 5 because every other version of The Sims has gone in chronological order, but they're officially calling it Project Rene. So the producers of Project Rene did this Behind the Sims Summit and also did an interview kind of going over what they think is going to be the future of The Sims. So they saw Project Rene, or in the word Rene, referring to a renaissance or rebirth of The Sims series. So after 4 games, completed, they're now trying to bring back the best elements of The Sims franchise. So that includes more customization options for furnitures, build and buy mode, bringing back a color wheel, which we saw in The Sims 3, that was actually highly popular and we were surprised didn't come back for The Sims 4. The ability to have multiplayer has been discussed. We're not sure what that's going to look like in Project Rene, Right now, it's currently in like a pre uh, setting where they're doing play testing and trying to get people's input. So we're still probably 3 or 4 years out before Project Rene slash The Sims 5 actually happens. But it is interesting to see that it's going to have cross-platform play and multiplayer play, because that's something new for the Sims franchise. And across all live simulation games, we're not seeing that multiplayer and cross-play being discussed. Most games, at least for Life by You and Paralives, is coming to PC and Mac. Like, it's pretty much a desktop-based game. Not sure if either one of those are coming to console, but this one looks like it's definitely going to have some sort of cross-play and multiplayer aspects. Don't know if it's going to be a subscription model, but that kind of rumor has been floating around also. And so there was in the beginning of the Behind the Sims Summit, there was a short interview with another one of the producers on Project Rene, producer Grant, who was kind of going into, why they decided to be so transparent and reveal the game so early. They've promised that they're trying to elicit, information and advice from players of The Sims 4 by doing these play tests and letting you play around with build and buy and things like that. So I'm curious what you guys think about the 3 new Life Sim games that are coming within the next couple of years. Between Life by You, Paralives, and Project Rene slash The Sims 5, we have 3 big competitors in the life simulation forum that may be doing pretty much the same kind of game, but in different ways with different art styles. Do you have a preference? Is there anything that you want to see? Let me know in the comments below.